The Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Stars, the third film now. Crazy to say that in the Princess Switch franchise. Once again, stars Vanessa Hudgens as three different people. And the story in this one is when a priceless relic is stolen. Margaret and Stacey, who are both played by Vanessa Hudgens, need a criminal's point of view on how to steal the relic back. So they go to their cousin who was put in a community service for a life type of scenario in the last film. Fiona, once again played by Vanessa Hudgens, who teams with a man from her childhood who she knew, played by Remy High or He, I forgot, whatever you say his name. And that's the plot of the film. The film's an hour and 45 minutes and is PG. Welcome back to a brand new Netflix review here on Max Talk. Somebody was talking The Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. That's the best way to support this channel. Please like the video as well. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, box office breakdown shows. So please subscribe, ring the bell. Also, please comment down below your thoughts on this film. Rank, if you have seen this film or if you even haven't, rank all of the films in this franchise thus far. Would love to know your guys' thoughts on this franchise. Where does this also rank for you in Netflix's trilogies, like To All the Boys, Kissing Booth? Where's a rank for you out of those couple franchises? And let's get started. So I am not the biggest fan at all of this franchise. Now, I don't hate this franchise like I do of Kissing Booth, which I think are all awful movies. I still think these are pretty much bad movies, just ones that I don't passionately hate as much as the Kissing Booth, and I definitely don't have nearly as fun as I do with To All the Boys. So this is a really weird franchise where it started in 2018. Then the sequel came out. Well, the first film was about the two people, Margaret and Stacey, both played by Hutchins, and then it went to three different Hutchins characters. But this one is definitely the most unique of the three films because it really just does focus on one of her characters. It really is Fiona, who's the cousin who we met in Princess 2, Switched Again. She really is the main character of the film, which is actually, I'm happy why they put her at the center of the poster, because I was kind of shocked how much of the movie that Margaret and Stacey are not really in. They're very much sidelined to Fiona. And because Fiona is a criminal who is doing all the actual heist aspects, and I can't believe this is all heist, a big heist aspect to this movie, because she's the criminal, she's not a princess or a queen, she doesn't have anything to lose, really. So she's really a part of the heist aspect of the film. So she really becomes the main character, especially when her and Peter, played by Remy Hii, who was in Spider-Man Far From Home as the Brad character, he has some background, and they were friends as a child. Both were just kind of left in these homes, and he always looked after her and stuff, and they had a pretty rough past as they both kind of liked each other. But she kind of wasn't really open to that at the time. So she kind of brushed him away from her life. But again, that's kind of the main story, because the other guys, Kevin, played by Nick Sagar, and I'm trying to find the other character in the film, but Prince Edward, who's also in the film, again, trying to find the actor's name here, but he is also in the film. Of course, they're the love interests of both Margaret and Stacey. They're very much in the background, even more so than our main characters. Sam Palladio, plays Edward. So they're very much in the background. They were really the main characters of the first two films. And Fiona was a bit of spice that they kind of just unnecessarily threw into the second film. And now it's weird how they very much focus on, I think a lot of people's complaints is that Fiona was a very annoying character and really unnecessary in Princess Switch 2. Now, this film, I don't really hate it, but it's just not a good movie whatsoever. So let's talk about the positives than the negatives. I think Fiona actually is way less annoying than she was in the second film, especially coming from she being the main character in this film. She had very good chemistry with Remy High in the film. And she's definitely the more interesting character than the other two characters that Hutchins plays. The film does have again, all the cast has really good chemistry with each other. But again, I can't really go into the positives that much. I really did not like this film that much. So we're going to get into the negatives. As I said, it just isn't that enjoyable of a movie at all. Again, we're getting into Christmas. It's the third film, which I didn't see any of the trailers, but I was kind of expecting. Most Netflix franchises really only go to three films, as we already saw. Kissing Booth 3 was this year, and so was To All the Boys 3, which all concluded their trilogies. This film clearly does not feel like a ending to anything. Now, while it doesn't feel like a setup to something else, this movie definitely doesn't feel like the last time you're going to see these characters, which is pretty sad because I believe this needed to be the end of this franchise. It's a franchise that no one talks about, that has been on Netflix now for the last 4 years for Christmas movies, again, 2018. And then the sequel came out last year. So 2 films really during the pandemic for this franchise. I just don't really enjoy it. I found Vanessa Hudgens a bit too unbearable at times. Especially when they're all 3 actors are on screen at the same time. And there's a scene where, hey, you're trying to pretend that you're the other person. Vanessa Hudgens being Margaret, but trying to be Fiona. It's not good because Vanessa Hudgens plays all 3 characters. So her trying to pretend to be someone else, it just isn't that great of a plan. Kevin, played by Nick Segar, was one of the best parts of the first film. His role is so diminished because he needs to pick up his daughter who's in Brussels to bring her here. So Kevin, who's Margaret's love interest, he's completely gone from basically the entire film for the most part, especially the second act into the third act. He's not even near the film. And again, because Fiona is such a new character, they try to make it like all of the stuff about her, but you don't, because she was not the main featured character in the second film, but they already expect you to get her characteristics, which you just don't get. They try to add in this, her and her mom had a bad relationship. I just don't care. There's no emotion with this film at all. And that's what I kind of felt about this film compared to the other 3. While this, I don't think, is the worst film of the 3, I do think it is the blandest film. I just felt absolutely nothing watching this movie. There was no emotion. There was no funny jokes. There's no characters that you're just latched onto, you're rooting for. It's just, you're just watching stuff on screen, and it's not awful, but it's also not very good either. And that's kind of the definition of the movie. It's so incredibly bland. How there'll be some big heist, and the heist stuff is so awful. Really cliched. There's nothing new to this heist scene that happens in the last 30 minutes of the film, where they're trying to get this star back from this very rich man who had a past with Fiona. It just isn't that entertaining whatsoever. And that's all these films can be. Dumb entertainment really is what this franchise should have gone for. But it wants to go for this. It went for like a love triangle in the first, like a, 4-person, it's like a love triangle in the first film. Then the second film was trying to figure out why Fiona was, as a cousin, backstabbing her cousin. And this film, there's really no reason why they have to switch. I mean, it's so dumb, but because the film is a Princess Switch franchise, all 3 Vanessa Hudgens characters do have to switch roles in the third act of the film. But if you actually thought long enough about a plan for this heist, you really didn't need all 3 of them changing personalities. It made absolutely no sense, and makes the film way more confusing why they have to all 3 switch again. So as you can tell, it's tough for me to even talk about this movie because it feels like nothing happens in this movie. It's just 3 people, all played by Vanessa Hudgens. She's clearly having a fun time playing 3 different characters, but for me, it was not fun to watch. So I'm going to give The Princess Switch 3. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5, a 20% for this film. It's definitely in the worst films of the year, but isn't an awful film. It's just a very bad film. So that's my thoughts on The Princess Switch. If I would have to rank the films, I would go 1, 3, and then 2. 2 is definitely the most annoying film out of the 3. And the 1 at least had some bit of charm in there. This film is, as I said, the blandest of the trilogy, and hopefully we don't get any more. Oliver, that's my thoughts on The Princess Switch 3. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment my upcoming videos. As I said, I'll be traveling to Los Angeles tomorrow for the week, so no videos tomorrow, but this upcoming weekend, I should have videos for Tick, Tick, Boom and King Richard, which are the new movies coming out as well. And also tonight, I'm seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife, hoping to get a review done by today. If not, I'll do that review in Los Angeles tomorrow. So Ghostbusters review will be either today or tomorrow. And then the next couple of days, I'll have my box office breakdown show and reviews of both Tick, Tick, Boom and King Richard. I'm also watching currently on Hulu Hit Monkey. I'm going to give a full non-spoiler review of Hit Monkey as well on this channel. So get ready for all these reviews coming down the line. I'll see you guys soon.